Hey everyone, today we are driving out to do some updates on some culvert pipes and possibly unclog them. The first one I want to check out is just going to be an update, since if it is blocked, we're not going to undo it because it's now into winter time and that's like a death sentence to the beavers. That'll wait off until the spring when they start trapping again, and hopefully they get them out of there and get that situation cleared up if they haven't already. I tried to come up here last night. I arrived around 9 p.m. I tried a few hours to make it out here. Even with the studded snow tires, it was just not safe. I was sliding all over the road, even though I was crawling around with them. So I finally found a place. I just bought some tire chains for the wheels. I'm gonna go fuel up and we're gonna try heading back out there. I should be able to do it with no problem now that I just bought some chains for the vehicle. And it's also raining a whole lot, so these roads are going to be even more icy today, because last night it was freezing out, but now that there's liquid water on top of that ice, they're going to be even more slick. Last night I saw a road with water trickling across, and I was like, did it erode that much? No, it didn't. There's like 8 inches of packed ice on top of the road, and it just eroded through the ice, not the road. Because it appears they're using dump trucks to spread gravel on top of the ice for traction. So sometimes you think you're on bare road, but it's not. It's gravel that they put on top of the really thick ice. It's been packed down by log trucks. It's not going to come off unless we get like a whole week of warm weather or the spring thaw. And that's going to be a nightmare in the spring thaw because it's not going to melt evenly. It never does. It's always a disaster coming out here in the springtime. Very foggy out today, and it seems to be getting worse and worse as we go north where there's snow on the ground. Alright everyone, we just left the paved road, and what I'm on right now is an absolute sheet of ice. So I'm waiting for a flat spot, and I'm going to stop and chain up. Alright, just check out how slippery it is without the chains. Not the worst because I have studded tires, but if I was going down a hill, it would be horrible. I did that this morning, almost couldn't stop. So I'm just going to stop right here, leaving enough room for someone to go around me. Oh, I'm an idiot. I opened them in the vehicle on my bed, and there's so many metal shavings in there. Alright, I have not ever chained up like this before. That was a learning experience out there, how to couple them up correctly. I'm going to pull forward just maybe 100 feet, and I'm going to make sure everything is still tight. I got soaked laying down in the wet road doing that. But it looks like everything's alright. Next time, I'm definitely going to buy another pair of tensioners. I'd feel much better if I double tension that. Alright. Not too bumpy. I don't plan on doing anything fast out here. I only plan on traveling maximum maybe 20 with these. Very bumpy. Well, this is what it feels like when you got chains. This part of road we just got onto right here is not plowed. It is like a skating rink. Alright, we stopped good. If I was to slam it on, the back of the car may try to fishtail because I only have them on the front. But I think we're good. I have all-wheel drive, but I'm going to put it in 4x4 for this and low gear. I'm going to get out and check, make sure everything's still tight. I just drove forward a few hundred feet. I did it again! I almost keep falling down on this because this is sheer ice the whole road. Very, very icy out here. Here's a hill. We stopped without a problem. I love hearing that chain noise as it pokes into the ice. All right, we stopped pretty good because this is absolute sheer ice. All right, here we come on to a very icy part of road. I think I may have actually just solved the tensioning problem for now. I used a bunch of zip ties as extra hooks to stretch out the tensioner even more. It looks like briefly the ice is going to end, but I can see it further down the road start back up. I know it's not the best for chains to be on bare ground like this. Or maybe it's not that bad. The road is pretty soft. It's not like I'm grinding them down on asphalt. Here we go. The ice is starting back up. We are still on a residential road, and everybody needs chains to get to their houses out here. We're about to go across a little bridge, and probably another mile, we're gonna lose the power poles. No more houses after a mile. And road conditions are either gonna get way better because it's not packed down into ice, or they're gonna get even worse. At least this bridge has little rails so you can't slide off it. I went across one yesterday without chains. It did not have that. It was pretty scary. The road is just getting worse as I go along. Alrighty, we just lost the telephone poles, and now this road, we're going to be on this for another 20 miles, maybe a little more, until we get to our location. This road does not have as much ice, but I think as soon as we go back into the tree line where the sun couldn't melt it, it's going to be horrible again. The road's actually a little bit soft right here. All right, everyone, we finally made it all the way out here. It took a couple hours. This usually only takes like a half an hour to come down this road. And by the looks of it, the water still seems pretty low, but it looks like it may have gone up a little bit. So this road was absolutely flooded out when we came here last time. No, the culvert is still completely working. We'll get out in a minute and show you. Right here is where the water was crossing. It's no longer crossing. It's just a dip in the road full of water. Very muddy going through there. Chains are definitely helping with the mud too. This road's very slippery. I never would have made it out here without them. Look what's in front of us. Should I drive under that? I think it's all right. That's been there a while. See how all the branches are broken off and all over the ground? A lot of people have smashed it out of the way, but it doesn't look like that tree's being held up by much. We're going through. Very muddy, very ruddy. Right in front of us here is a bridge. This bridge had a gigantic beaver dam underneath it back in the summertime that I removed. This entire road was flooded out as a result to it. It looks like the water is back up to an extent. This is a very steep hill in front of me. Would not have attempted this without the chains. Yeah, we're going up it without a problem. Yep. See how the road in front of us is all icy? I think it's flooded again. You can tell other vehicles have been through this probably this morning, and they broke it up with their tires. It shouldn't be very deep. I'm not too worried about getting stuck. Yep, we're powering our way through it. Not even a hesitation. So I'm going to pull over right here at this fork, and we'll continue exploring out here as soon as I go back there and take a good look at everything. Yeah, all these roads are mud holes. Chains also help with the mud. I'm happy about that. Alrighty, just put on my boots. And the chains actually seem to have tightened themselves up somehow. The jingling noise you heard is when I tightened them up. There's a couple links of chain hanging there. I zip tied them up so they don't bang around as much. This is very slippery here. Look at the ice. It's over an inch thick. Somebody ground this thing up. So the fact that the road is being flooded again, I think the beaver dam's back. It's very slippery here. Maybe it's just raging. Look at this. Somebody's chains really tore up the bridge. I think it might just be raging and it can't fit underneath here efficiently. Because you see the riverbed here, it's flooding the banks. It's raining a lot today, melting a lot today. It's 50-something degrees. The past couple weeks have been really cold. Let's get a look under here. If you remove a beaver dam, it's basically a death sentence to the beavers because they're going to be vulnerable and exposed when their lodge comes out of the water. But no, I don't think they built back anything. I think the beavers actually were already trapped. I'm thinking there's just so much water it can't fit underneath the bridge, because what I'm seeing underneath here, I don't think they built back anything. I think those are the bigger logs and stuff I couldn't get out of here when I unclogged it. And yeah, there's just a ton of water coming through here. No, they didn't build back anything. And considering that culvert pipe I unclogged down here, I just saw when I drove by, has nothing in it at all. No, the beavers are definitely not here. There's just so much water, it can't fit underneath the bridge. Even if that 6 inches of dam that's still there was to be removed, I still don't think it's gonna fit enough where it's not crossing the road. And I'm pretty sure the water is just accelerating. This entire road is a mess. They need to come in here with dump trucks, raise up all the low areas that have washed out. But that's not going to be done for a while, because here in Maine, they only log every 40 years. They allow people to use these roads for recreation because it helps keep them open so they're not completely overgrown when they go to use them again. Typically, it doesn't take 40 years. A lot of times they'll only be abandoned like 10 until they decide to come back out here and do more logging. Because they don't log the entire area at once. They do little patches here and there, so there's not catastrophic openings. Yeah, this tree, it looks like it's just being held up by some branches and tiny little trees. That could come down at any time. So yeah, they don't care about this road at the moment. If the road washes out, it will probably stay washed out, unless one of the tourist companies that rents things like ATVs pays for it. They may have actually paid for that bridge back there, because that was replaced about 2 years ago, the timbers on the deck, because it had holes through it like crazy. But you see right here, the road washed out. That's why there's a puddle. Nothing's actually crossing there, at least not at the moment. This big hump you see next to the road, whole thing is a beaver dam. And you can see the water was higher maybe this morning when the rain was heavier. You see, it definitely went up, went back down and crushed everything. It froze at a higher height too, and that's why it's all crinkled and cracking. And you can tell right here, where, because there's no snow, there was a big gush coming through here. The drainage systems here are just severely undersized. When we came here in the summer to do an unclogging, the water was up to the top of this dam, so it's still 2 feet lower than it was in the summertime. You can see the culvert we unclogged about 3 months ago, still completely unclogged, and that just tells you there's no beavers. At first I thought they may have built back, but no, I remember I left about 3 inches of dam because the dam was too well built to take it out by hand. I think that they took advantage of a big log that washed in there. But still, I even knew it in the summertime when we drained this. I was even saying this system is so undersized. I knew that there'd be flooding regardless of it open. But I'm happy to see it's not as bad as it could be if I didn't do that. Well, I'm very happy today because now I have experience on how to put chains on, and next time it'll be way easier. This is the first time I have ever put them on a vehicle. The only other time I've ever put them on was a lawn tractor, and I once put them off a snowblower. Other than that, I have no experience. I'm very happy that just the guy explaining it to me at Napa Auto Parts, I was able to do it just from his verbal instructions. Went on very easily. I think I want to carry extra tensioners with me next time as a precaution, but I was able to tighten it up actually with zip ties, and I have a ton of those. It's working. Can't believe it, it's working. But now that I got chains, I won't be afraid to come out here again in these conditions. It really helps. And eventually I want to get a vehicle that's much more capable for coming out here. Because what I have now, it is 4-wheel drive, but it's not big. It's tiny. I want to get like a mid-sized truck hopefully next year. And then I'll buy chains for all 4 wheels. I'm not going to put a ton of money into the vehicle I have now. It's got 300,000 miles on it. And chains are not cheap. Today that cost me $250 just for the front wheels. But I'm happy, those things will last many years doing this. Really big hill coming up. We're going down a hill now. Ice is not that bad, but that one that I see in front of us way up there looks like it's gonna be very, very icy. See that up there? Does not look like it's gonna be fun. Yep, sheer ice. We're now at the bottom of that hill and we're about to go up. That steep one I zoomed in on.